You've got really interesting family dynamic. In fact, one of the the kind of vlogs that you've done online is a day in your life. They kind of
Yeah,
followed
yeah,
you
yeah,
around
yeah,
and
yeah.
so on and so forth. I found it interesting, really, when you're talking about interacting with your children. We had a part of our vlog that we were talking about kind of like how you're dealing with your children, how you kind of parent them and teach them and spend a lot of time with them and establish deep and meaningful connections with them.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of advice would you give people, generally speaking, on bonding with their children, teaching their children martial arts, teaching their children different things?
Mm.
How do you do it? What kind of routine have you put in place for your kids?
Well, here's what I would say. Look, every generation
Yeah.
has their own culture, their own time, and it gives them a certain way of life and a certain paradigm. They look at the world in a certain way. Then a younger generation comes and they're different. And the things that they like and do or behave and their culture, it can push you away from them. It can separate us. Because you'll be like, the way they think, the way they are, the way. But the truth of the matter is, you didn't grow up in their world, so you don't understand. You're alienating yourself from your kids. So for me, I want to avoid that as much as possible. I share everything they do. If they're interested in something, I'm interested in it. Like my kids, they were like scooters, like skateboarding, but like with a scooter. Okay, yalla, we all go together. I rent one. I'm doing it with them. I'm watching the YouTube videos on the tricks, how they do it, and we're hanging out. We're being close. Doesn't matter the activity. Whatever. They like video games. This video game you like, I like it. Let's play. We play together for an hour or two. You have to get into their world. You have to share what they do. Because what happens is, if they love one thing and you love another, and there's no common interest, there's nothing really to talk about. There's nothing to bond. Me and my kids were very, very close. But also there's a flip side of the coin. When it's time to work, it's time to work. Like me, I'm the kind of father, if you did everything you're supposed to do, I let you do, I give you whatever you want. Like my kids, they're like, this video game, that video game, this shirt, that. Done. If you did your work. If you didn't do your work, you get nothing. That's how I believe it is the right way, because you can ruin a kid, you can ruin a child by giving him something for free. And I like to liken it to a jungle cat and a tiger in the zoo. Two different, same animal genetically, but two different animals in another sense. Because the jungle cat, he doesn't need you. He can kill and eat on his own. He's independent. He's truly free. That tiger that was born in the zoo, he's tamed. He's lost something. And Nietzsche wrote a lot about this as well. He's lost something. He's become dependent on his master. Yeah, he's dangerous. He has claws, this and that. But if I put him back in the wilderness, he's going to die. This type of independence, this strong independence, I think it's the root of insecurities. Imagine I could take you and drop you off somewhere in the wilderness, like just helicopter you, drop you off, and you come back and that was nothing to you. No, I don't care if they freeze my bank accounts. I don't care if they try to put me in jail. I'm gonna, like, you're so resourceful, nobody can do anything to you. Now that would be a true freedom. That's, so of course it's an exaggerated example, but that's how close you want to build. That's the direction you want to build. Whereas today, a lot of us are building towards the other direction. I want to be more comfortable. I want to be more dependent on the person I work for. So for instance, I don't work for nobody. Nobody tells me what to do. If I worked for a boss and maybe he's rude to me, I'm going to be like, I'll let him be rude to me because he signs my paycheck and I need that paycheck. So I'm dependent on that person. And this is the type of stuff I try to keep my kids away from. And the reason why you're dependent on that person is because there's something you don't know. That's how my philosophy. There's something you don't know. You should only depend on God. In my opinion, that's the only thing. Like when I eat, when I drink, when I think, alhamdulillah, I got this from God. I don't believe that the guy who wrote my paycheck, that guy controls my destiny. I don't believe that. I don't, like, if I've worked for people, but I never believed that guy feeds me. I never believed this in my life. Never. No, I couldn't even fathom that, because that would mean that I'm dependent on another human being. So this is what I want to instill in my kids. One, you're completely independent from everyone, only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that, in my opinion, is the true freedom. Because if something bad happens to you, if somebody came, for instance, in this room and lit this building on fire, and I got bad burns, I wouldn't say that's the guy who did it to me. I would use that language, I take him to, I would follow the procedures normal human beings do, but I would still believe this is qadar Allah. This was brought to me by Allah. Nobody can burn me. Nobody can harm me. Nobody can do anything to me, and nobody can save me. And this is true freedom, in my opinion. Me, I never see anything that came to me that's good, that's from anything but Allah. And if it's bad, it's from Allah as well. Like, this is what I deserve. So this is, my opinion, the mentality. Because for me, depending on somebody is unacceptable, in my opinion. It's unacceptable in my mind. And this is what I want to instill in my kids. But we're interdependent. We stay together because we want to be together. Like fighters, they come to me to the gym. They say, how much? I say, it's free. Train here and pay what you want. And other coaches, they tell me, oh, I trained this guy for 5 years, then he left. Yeah, let him go. Oh yeah, but what about my 5 years? Let him go. Khalas. That's his life. That's his journey. If you're a great trainer, he's going to come back. He's going to come. Me, I never put a contract with a fighter. Never. You want to train here because you train here because you want to train here. Nobody trains here because they're under a contract. And if I'm not good enough of a trainer, don't train with me. That's it. Because I'm focused on me knowing what I have to know. Because the root of all people's ills is they don't know. There's something they don't know. Like, for instance, there's people in the world, you give them $100 and they'll turn that $100 into $1,000. Why? They've mastered the art of money. Money is an art. It's a science. He could take that $1,000 now make it $10,000. He dedicated his life to learn everything about money. I believe that if I wanted to be rich, I would research immensely how to create wealth. And that's all I would do all the time till I become rich. And I believe everybody has that ability. Everybody. It's just that people don't know that what's standing between them and their goal is just ignorance.